I am going to be participating in the Reindeer Readathon, which is hosted by Eric over at Break Even Books. And I am actually one of the sponsors as well, because I'm going to be donating some book sleeves and bookmarks to this readathon. Today is December 1st, it's Friday, and I'm still working technically. I just wanted to go through and try to figure out some stuff because I'm currently reading some books for a different vlog that is taking months. So I need to incorporate those into these prompts. The books I'm currently reading are Man-Made Monsters, and I'm also reading Meg by Steve Alten, and I'm reading Recursion by Blake Crouch. So these three books do need to fit into my plans. They need to be the ones that I finish first. I'm gonna try to make a dent in Meg and in Recursion because those ones I have audio. Well, I have an audiobook for one, and then Meg is like just the fastest read that I've had in a long time. So once I've been able to dig into those a little more, I will touch base with you. It'll probably be after I finish working for the day. And I'm Team Nutcracker, so hopefully I'll be able to get some points for the team. It is the next day, and I didn't film anything last night just because I had a little drinky drink, and then I was a little sleepy, and I decided just not to film. But I did read a little bit of Recursion. I am now on page 134, so we're making a good dent. I think before the readathon started, I was around like page 60 or 70. So we are getting through it, and I don't know if I talked about it before, but this is a book that is dealing with, there's an epidemic of people that are like they're discovering memories. Like one day they'll just wake up and be like, I remember this whole other life. This one took a lot longer to get to the sciencey stuff, and I feel like the only reason I was pulled in to the point where now I'm interested is because of the audiobook and listening to it while I was doing other things. So I'll say, if I was reading this as a book, I don't know if I would have been as in love with it as I am right now. And it's going pretty well. There's a lot of there's like inciting incidents that have just happened, probably like, well, actually not, like 20-30 pages ago, but we're kind of in the thick of like, okay, now here's like an info dump as to what's going on, what is explaining these things, and I'm very interested. I'm going to be driving today. I am going to be going to visit one of my friends, and we're going to go shopping and eat over in Peterborough, New Hampshire. There's like a yarn store and a bookstore over there. And I'm assuming, since it's December 2nd, there's going to be some lovely Christmas decorations. This is not going to be a flattering angle because I'm still driving. But if you can tell, I'm crying. There was just an unexpected fucking huge twist in this book, and I'm just like at a loss. Oh man. I did not expect it to go there. I'm just crying driving. Anyways, the book is good. I mean, I typically rate books high if they make me have an emotional response, so that's great. I just wanted to give you an update. Oh, okay. I'll see you later. Okay. It is much later than I meant to check in, but I wanted to give you another update for today. I am done reading for today. I'm exhausted. We went to a bookstore and a whole bunch of other shops. I got a bunch of yarn, and we got food, and then I dog sat for like an hour and a half more than I was supposed to, so I'm exhausted. I'm home now, and I was able to read up to page 244, so I was able to get quite a bit of reading in. If I feel inclined, I will finish this tonight, but I have a feeling that I'm just gonna wait until the morning. Yeah, and hopefully iRobot is ready from the library tomorrow, because that is probably the next one I want to pick up. And it's one that is so old on my TBR that I'm either gonna love it and read it or hate it and DNF it immediately. So we will see how that one goes, but otherwise I will see you in the morning. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see much of my face because it's dark out, but I'm crying again. I still have like a few, can you see the tears? Maybe a little. I'm like in the epilogue. I think I only have like 10 minutes left of this book, but I was like literally doing laundry before this, and I was like, you know, maybe it's just not a book for me. And then it went into the deepest, most existential crisis causing breakdown, and it just it's 5 stars. I haven't even finished it fully yet. It's just 5 stars.
But I thought I'd at least embarrass myself for a second and show you me crying again.
I did end up finishing Recursion last night, and it was a 5-star read, which was great because it meant that I could finally finish up another vlog. I was put through a lot of emotional duress during this book because it really made me face a lot of issues around like the concept of the future and just living and existential dread. Time travel, time warping kind of books tend to do that to me, and it's good. I do enjoy the book in it of itself, but like it also is quite taxing, which is why I put this book off for so long. If it wasn't for how emotionally damaged this book made me feel, I don't know if I would have truly given it a 5-star, because I feel like the true peak of the book happened to like 30 to 40% in, and then the rest of the book was quite, it was written definitely in a way that I felt like would have made a good movie. Like it was pretty dramatic and pretty intense, and the sci-fi stuff was really cool. It would like definitely be interesting to see how this would be played out on screen if it ever made it to that point. But I will say that because it made me so upset and it made me think and it impacted me, that's why it got the 5 stars. We're done with that one. I was hoping that my hold for I, Robot by Isaac Asimov would be up, and it isn't, which sucks. So we're gonna dive back into Meg by Steve Alten and see if we can finish that tomorrow. I know that that one was a much easier read for me, and if I don't feel like reading that tonight, I think I'm gonna pick up an anthology. I think I'll finally give Queer Little Nightmares another try. This is an anthology of monstrous fiction and poetry, and it is going through the use of queerness and queer people in monster type stories. If I don't talk about Meg next, I'll talk about this one. So I will see you once I've actually done some reading and enjoyed my time, because I unfortunately do still have a few hours left of work. I've gotten a bit more cutthroat at the end of the year here, so not surprising. But I am going to DNF this book that I was reading. I was reading Meg by Steve Alten, and I have gotten 122. So I was a decent chunk into it, but I am going to DNF this because I've started to realize what was taking me, like while it was a quick read, it's also not causing me to want to come back to it every day. It is written, I believe it was Steve Alten's first book, and so I know that when I originally read Steve Alten's books in this series, I accidentally started with number 2 and then like read 2, 3, and 4, I think, in high school. And so they drew me in because I think he'd had a little bit more writing under his belt, but this one reads very much like a military / medical type of scientific work. Here's just a quick passage where they're talking about the ship that they're on. It says, all of the vessel had set many records for undersea voyages. None would match her historic journey to the North Pole in 1958. Decommissioned in 1980, the sub was originally scheduled to return to Groton, Connecticut, where she was built, until Commander McGovern petitioned the Navy to bring her to Pearl Harbor as a tourist attraction. So as I adjust you back on the tripod, because the camera just cut out like while I was reading the driest passage in all of human history. Let me move you around our living room so you get a little bit less gross lighting. It feels like homework, and the reason that I put it off for so long on my TBR is because I think I knew that it would feel that way. But I think I'm caught up enough with work. It is technically after 5, so I don't need to be working. I have a few things left that I need to do that I didn't get done before 5, so I will do those really quickly, and then I am gonna bundle up my stuff and go to Barnes & Noble for a few hours just so I can get out of the house and have a different reading environment, because being on the cozy couch makes me just want to nap and knit or crochet or watch TV. I've been reading too many books at once. Oh, you have a little droplet of water on your nose. I know, you woke up from a nap. I am back home now, obviously. But I want to give you a little update on this because I did read 50 pages. I got up to page 52. And I'm really enjoying it so far. It is reminding me that I'm not a terribly big fan of poetry. Not necessarily like long form poetry, like epic poetry, but these poems are like a page long, and I feel like they're not given enough, it's not enough time for me personally to get to a point where I'm like, yeah, I get it. I just like longer form poetry. I don't know. I feel like for me personally, I need it to be kind of long and drawn out so that I can create a sense of the ambiance of the poem. It sounds so fucking pretentious. I'm gonna work on some Etsy orders right now. I have some bookmarks I need to sew up, maybe knit a little bit, but I'm not gonna pick this up again unless I feel real interested before bedtime. But it's my birthday and going to be the last day of this specific week of the Reindeer Readathon. I haven't updated you because I haven't done much reading since we last spoke, but I did finally put up a different vlog, which made me feel very accomplished, and then reminded me I still need to work on this vlog and still need to work on reading. If you hear paper tearing, it's Bento in the background, and I'm not gonna stop her because she's living her best life. An update for Queer Little Nightmares. I am now on page 88, which again, not a huge dent, but we are almost halfway, maybe like a third of the way, a little bit more than that. I did start an ebook and I'm not very far in it, but I just needed something of a variety. I started Blood Moon by Jillian Grave. I'm about 8% into this. This is a smutty witch vampire, I think, romance. And it's like 100 pages, so that one should be pretty quick. I'm going down to a yarn store about 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away, and I'm going to spend my money on yarn, which is gonna be lovely and beautiful. If you can tell, I've been getting more into yarn because it's cold and I actually am able to do stuff with it. And finally, I don't know what happened, because in the middle of my last vlog, or maybe it was earlier in this vlog, I had requested iRobot from the library, and then I asked them to deliver it later, and then it was like on wait for 3 weeks, and I was like, what's happening? But it finally came ready. I have it downloaded, and this should be a short audiobook. So if I'm driving about 4 hours today, and I listen to 4 hours of audiobook at 2 times speed, that should mean I finish this by the end of today. But I do know for my mental health, I will probably not listen to it straight the whole time while I'm driving. I don't know if you could tell, I'm still in PJs and my hair is quite a mess because I am about to hop in the shower. So I'm gonna go shower, get ready, and then head out to go get some yarn for myself. Just the laundry down there. I had been kind of joking when I mentioned that we might finish this while driving. We finished this today. I started and finished this via the audiobook, and I'm a little shocked. I actually got to like page 190. So the majority of the book we finished before I got back home and like went to the laundromat. So that was great. I think I gave this a 5-star. Let me just double check. Yes, I gave it 5 stars because at no point during reading it was I like, oh my God, this is super outdated. I went into this with a huge love of the Will Smith movie, I, Robot. For the most part, there's not a lot of overlap, and that was fine for me. This actually reminded me a lot of Robocalypse, which was by Daniel H. Wilson. So clearly if there's similarities, it's probably on purpose. It starts out being a interview between this woman who is retiring, and she was the head, I believe, of US Robots or something like that. And they're the company that makes these artificial intelligence robots. They can like help you, or they have different functions like to do industrial labor or to care for your children. There's a whole bunch of things. And she's looking back at all these odd stories that might have compromised her career or were just like big turning points in the history of robotics. So let's see how this actually fits into the Reindeer Readathon prompts, because I have not been paying attention apparently. This will be a book that came out before I was born because it came out in 1950. So that is the Rudolph prompt. So let me actually put that into the points. I also read a little bit of the smutty witchy vampire book. And when I say it is just smutty, it is like 75% smut, 25%, oh math, 25% story. So we're enjoying it. I'm about 50% through that, but that is it for today. That is it for this vlog. Oh, I know what I forgot. I have my haul from the yarn store. I know this is not book related, but I do want to share this regardless. I'm on a knitting journey. I think I cut that out of another vlog, but I've been wanting to learn how to knit, and so I've been gathering more yarn and going around and trying to buy needles, and I had a hard time with that. Just wanted to go through and show you some beautiful yarn that I got. How beautiful. Bitch, focus on the yarn. Thank you. Ooh. And this one. Ah, gorgeous. Beautiful. Okay. Back to me. And then I also got this really cool like set of needles. So it is all, if you know anything about knitting, it is all interchangeable wires or cords so that I can do different sizes, and it has all the different, it has a whole bunch of them so that I can just do a whole bunch of different knitting and hopefully live my best knitting life. That's it. That's it for this vlog. I will see you in the next Reindeer Readathon vlog, and hopefully everybody else is doing good if you're participating or just having a great December. But I'm in a good mood for my birthday. This is the first time in a few years that I'm like actually at the day is ending. Everything went well. It all went to plan. I've probably jinxed it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next vlog.